I mean, the military, for instance, they have a communication style of it doesn't matter who the senior ranking officer is. When they say go, you go. When they say come, you come. When they say stop, you stop. You don't ever question whatever they say. But most of the time, the lead people just do what comes from the top, from one leader. So communication makes a difference. For great leaders, communication makes a difference. Why do hundreds of thousands of people want to gather somewhere to listen to one man speak? Because there is something that's coming from that person that motivates them, that gets to them, that speaks just like they want to speak. But now they got somebody speaking for them. And so if there is one skill that's important for a leader to develop, is their communication skill. That's going to come, I think, for some of you, that's going to be part of the legacy eventually. You are going to get that directly from those people who are masters of communication, the same people that I learned from. That is the access we are talking about. We are talking about being able to come around to really learning from people who wrote the book. You know, I've always said it's important who you learn from. It's important what you teach to other people too, because you know what? Right now you have people following you, whether because they are your students or because you are a leader in their group, or they just see something in you. You have people following you that if you get better personally, if you get to a point yourself that you can actually be able to express leadership in the way it's meant to be to the people that follows you, and they know you express leadership in an ethical way. They know you express leadership that shows that you have value. You don't do it because of what you can get out of it. You are not looking for what you can get, because if you're looking for what you can get out of it, you are in the wrong place. It's about making you the best of what you can be, because you can, there's a difference. There's a difference in what happened today and what really needs to happen, and we'll talk about that. So I hope that addresses your communication questions, Abubakar. Leadership communication is the most essential skill that any leader needs. It doesn't matter what ideas you have. If you cannot transfer that idea from your head to that of the people you are leading, then you are not leading, you are just taking a stroll. Great leaders communicate to their people in a way that those people wanted to be communicated to, and so they get it. And that's why you see millions of them are following a movement that might be good, bad, it doesn't matter. We've seen it all over the world. We've seen the leader that led his people to their death, when he asked every one of them to drink poison, and they did it. We've seen that. There is nothing new under the sun. That's why we're talking about ethical, value-based leadership. Thank you very much. I hope those answer your questions.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. President. So we have plenty. I hope you guys, that those that asked your question has been addressed now. I hope you are satisfied. So we have plenty of questions now. Let's see how we can make use of the time and take all these questions. So the next series of questions I'm going to be asking you, Mr. President, is how can someone become a successful leader? By Ibrahim Susan Akimpelu. He asked, how can someone be a successful leader? That is number one. Number two, he asked, I want to know how the Project 54 is going to create a platform for young people to be part of this discussion making. You said they want to know how Project 54 is going to create a platform for young people to be part of discussion making. And the third question is, I want to the same Albert Mimo. He asked two questions. His second question is, I want to know how Project 54 is going to make us to be a good leaders in our country. You want to know how Project 54 is going to make us to be a good leader in their countries. And I think James also asked, okay, so maybe Mr. President, you take these three questions. We have plenty here. We'll see how we can squeeze to the next one.
Thank you very much, Jude. I appreciate those questions. I will not repeat. There are questions coming up that I've already answered. I will not repeat myself on that. If this is recorded, you guys can go back and look at it. So, because I think the question you're asking again about how can Project 54 enhance life of young people, I've already answered. Project 54 will provide the environment for you to come and learn. The learning depends on you. Okay, there is no elevator to success. You have to take the stairs. You hear me? There is no elevator to success. You have to take the stairs. We've seen successful people who do it overnight. Where did they lead to? If Africa is going to change, it's going to be by its people. We are starting to talk about the mindset first. That's where we are. We are trying to change our mindset. Because when we get to the point when we can change our mindset on, you have to make yourself better. Think about any leader you've seen. Anybody that you admire them because they are the best at what they do. They are the best at being who they are. That's what Project 54 is going to do. Project 54 is going to continue to provide leadership access to resources that you might otherwise not have. Project 54 will put you in the room with leaders in the world that you might not have the access to be able to do that. And those are you have to make yourself available. That's where you are going to be, in those places where you can raise up your hand and be part of the discussion. You have to be part of the discussion to be able to make a change. But you also have to be educated on what you are saying for people to listen to you, because they would not listen to you. But first, at least be part of the solution. Being part of the solution first is to be able to sit down in a place where you can speak. Why do you think we are trying to do launching across Africa? Why do you think that was the plan? You think we can't do this visual, we can do this on Zoom? Great meetings are happening on Zoom now, but you know what? Because of the access we have, we can get your local people in a room when they know that we have a forum where young people are going to be talked to, are going to be led, are going to be taught leadership principles. They will want to be part of that. And then you get to be in a room with them. They know what you are doing. You know what you are doing. They know where they're going. You know where you want to go. And when you guys can collaborate and come together, those things will happen. But can you do it on your own? Do you have access to those people now? Can you can you get on the phone and ask a minister of whatever in your country to come and attend the meeting that you are putting together? That's what we call access. That's what access is. That's the access part of Project 54 that we say we will provide to you. We started doing that.
All right.
I got some members of our team were on the call with John Maxwell last week before John started. and they were there till the end, and the feedback that I received on what they get, they can't wait for January 3rd. They are already asking me, can I attend the January 3rd mentoring session with you? That's access. That's access. Thank you very much. I hope that understand solve your question. Okay, the Project 54 gives you access to people when you show up. Okay, or you need to continue to show up to better yourself and to be more knowledgeable about the things that you really want to talk about on what your focus is. Thank you very much. I will wait for your next question.
Thank you, Mr. President. In fact, we have to thank you for that answer. We might keep so many questions because they have been attended to during the previous answers. So we'll just take the ones that we feel like it is yet to be attended, is yet to be answered. Like we have one here from Musa Nasu. Musa Nasu, I want to ask if you are conducting leadership training as a youth ambassador in your community. How can Project 54 empower? I think this is a very, very classic and vital question. Let me also ask another question here from also Jane Giba. He said, I want to know how will Project 54 contribute towards the transformation of my country. Okay, maybe, I think this is also, we have answered this kind of question before. Let me take this from Paul Williams. What are the strategies a good leader should put in place to maintain its credibility? What are the strategies a good leader should put in place to maintain credibility? That's number 2 question. Then number 3 from Lanre Adeyemi. This will be the last one for this session before I will hand it over to Mr. President. Lanre asked, how can Project 54 help to bridge trust gap or distrust between leaders and the led? How can Project 54 help to bridge the trust gap or the distrust between leaders and the led? Over to you now, Mr. President.
Okay, Jude, I think we're going to do this separately because I don't know if I got locked out of the computer. I know you can still hear me, so I was to myself and I just lost it. So I want to. I will address
are you there?
Questions separately.
Hello, can you hear me?
But I want to. Yeah, hello.
Yeah, I think you're having some network callback. Your voice goes off and on, but I can hear you now. Okay, should I ask and respond?
So, yeah, the first question. I missed that. I know there are first 2 questions you answered. Asked that is related to what I said before, and then there is the third question. Give me the first 2 questions again.
Okay, now the first 2 questions asked. I want to ask if you are conducting the leadership training as a youth ambassador in your community. How can Project 54 empower? You want to know if you are conducting leadership training as a youth ambassador in your community, and how can Project 54 empower?
That's very good. So let me answer that. If you are doing something in your community already, kudos. I think it's Kennedy who is what he's doing in Kenya right now. Is actually training ambassadors, and they charge a gate fee or $10 or whatever for coming in to do what they have to do. All I am saying to you is get the knowledge, get the resources. I do not care if you can take the resources I give you and use it to train other people. So if you're already doing things with youth ambassadors, attach yourself to Project 54. Number 1, you will be able to get resources that you continue to train people, and they find out you have some skills. They keep coming to get training from you. You keep coming to get resources from here. Before you know it, you got about 54 of them that you are able to influence, which gets you into a different category where I can then get you registered, not only into the John Maxwell University, that's a lot of money. The graduation for that is in March and in April. In August of every year. I do not think, I pray we have some nominees for March, but if we don't, you should still be associating yourself to getting to that level, because most of the training you're going to have is going to be online. But you are going to have access to train and develop the people that you are leading. Free access that you are allowed to use because you are part of the team. You will have access to leaders that need your help. If any of you was on Ambassador Bankole's call that I invited you guys to listen to when he was talking about safety and security in 4 different countries in Africa, what you are doing is you are getting things that's going to go in the news, but you are in the room when it comes out of the mouth of the author. And in fact, you are able to contribute to that. So before anybody knows, because you might even miss it in the news, you know what is going on in your community. You know what the challenges are. And so if you know what the challenges are, you know what the solutions were. Ambassador Bankole, I will not mention the name of the country here. If you weren't there, if you were there, you would have listened. But he talked about a country where he went to, that the village was full of just women. Just women. You know why? Because all the men have been taken away by force, by terrorists, to come and join their movement by force. See, an educated mind cannot be enslaved. So there are things that are going on that you are going to find out, that you are going to be able to find solutions to. And that is the answer to your question. Okay? It's always got to go back to you. How do you develop yourself and make yourself available? Go to the next question.
Okay, thank you, Mr. President. We have another question from Paul Williams. I'm sorry, Jane Giba. I think your question has been attended before. You can listen to the previous answers, please. So let's go forward. From Paul Williams, what are the strategies a good leader should put in place to maintain its credibility? What are strategies a good leader should put in place to maintain its credibility?
There is only one strategy that you need to maintain your credibility, and it's called trust. That's it. And trust from your leaders is based on your word. How often have you done what you say you are going to do? You see, trust is like a change in a leader's pocket. And every time you break that trust, it's like you're spending that change. Every time you break the trust, you're spending the change. Eventually, there will be no more change in your pocket, you're bankrupt. That's when a leader has no credibility. And then in order to have credibility, then you have to start building trust. And building trust means telling the truth. Building trust means being there for the people. You see, credibility is the things you do that brings you that. Your repeated actions, your repetition forms your reputation. Your reputation becomes your credibility. So things that you do that they already know that you are going to do that over and over and over. You repeating it over and over becomes your reputation. That reputation forms your credibility.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for addressing that question kindly. So we have another one from Landry Adayemi. Landry asks, how can Project 54 help to bridge the trust gap or distrust between leaders and the led? How can Project 54 help to bridge the trust gap or distrust between leaders and the led?
That is a very good question, and it comes from a leader who knows there is a trust gap. Larry worked in the federal parastatals, I think in the House of Assembly for several years, and has been an aide to the majority leader. So I understand exactly where your question comes from, Larry. And I'm going to tell you the only way you can bridge that gap is by you being a different kind of a leader. You see, our leaders, the majority, the led, for a long time stopped trusting the leaders because leaders go into position for themselves. That's why we have the problem why we have right now. Leadership is a service that you are supposed to feel good that you are able to actually serve your people. Leadership is service. Jesus demonstrated that when he didn't say, let me wash your head. He didn't say, oh, let me wash your hand. He said the feet. Because back in those days, remember, there are people walking around with no shoes. And their feet is always the dirtiest. They always, before you go in somebody's house, you have to wash your feet. Because it's filthy. You've been walking around almost barefooted with open slippers. And he said, let me wash your feet. Leadership is service. So, Larry, if you are going to bridge the trust gap, it's got to start with you. You know, there is something they used to say that say if you can't beat them, join them. That's a lie. That's a lie. Those are the things they teach us that make us justify being bad. If you can't beat them, don't join them. You create a different movement of value. Look at some politicians in your countries. Look at some politicians in your countries. There are some countries that have like 4 or 5 political parties. And you will have the same politician that has been a member of the 4 or 5 political parties because they have no value. They stood for nothing. So they go from one to the other, from the other to the other. That's what we are talking about, value-based leadership. Leadership that believes in something. And before you can believe in something, you got to change something about you. So yeah, that's how we bridge the gap, my brother. We have to start, it's got to start with you. You have to be a value-based leader so that the people who follow you, they see what value-based leadership principles are through you. They see the light through you. They see how you react. And because you are going to be a great leader of value, they will follow you because they'll be, I want to be with that person. I want to be led by that person. And that's the only way we are going to bridge that gap. Bridging the gap, it starts with you. It starts with me. Can you trust me? When I say I'm going to be here on Saturday, 11 o'clock, if you log in on Saturday, 11 o'clock, do you trust that I will be here to share with you what I have got in my journey that you might not have access to lay it on your lap, for you to do with it what you will. You do with it what you will, but grow yourself. That's what this is about. There are some questions. I want to address this because I saw it in several places. There are some questions that say something like, how can what do I get out of being part of Project 54? Or when does it end? When does Project 54 end? Can I say something to you? When you stop dreaming, it's like the beginning to the end. When you stop dreaming, when I stop dreaming, So I'm going to say this to you. Project 54 has no end because I will not stop dreaming of an Africa that's become an empire where its people have the opportunity. Don't you get it? Don't you get it that the reason why we have Africans leave the soil of Africa and go elsewhere and all of a sudden, boom, they are blooming. It's not because they are different, they are still Africans. The reason is because of the environment that's provided. So why don't we have that environment? Let's not blame our leaders too much. They got blamed. But let's start looking at the resources of the problem. Think of where the problem came from. Go and research right now. I'm going to give you work to do. Go and research the population of France. Go and research the population of France. And then go and research the population of all Francophone African countries. And you know what you're going to find? All Francophone African countries, their population will be like 10 times that of France, which means we have more resources than they do. So how come they are able to have the influence they have over that territory? You know why? Because they divide it. A house divided within itself shall not stand. They knew that. So they divided us. And we are saying, let's bring the division back together. The only way we're going to bring it back together is through you, the young people that are coming on, and the believers in bringing it back together so we can strengthen ourselves. But what can you do as an individual? Develop yourself, and then develop the people coming behind you. Because it's not going to happen with the people who are there right now.
Okay.
It's not going to happen with them. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. President. I think I will have a couple of minutes to end this session, but I wouldn't know how you want to, approach the remaining question, Mr. President.
Can
so I'm throwing them open to you.
Can I say something? Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Anybody who needs to leave, if you've asked a question or your question has been addressed and you need to leave, you can leave. I will not end the session if there is still somebody who has a question. Okay? I will be here.
Okay.
I have things to do. We want to make it not more than an hour. But I don't want somebody to leave this room, and I'm going to have a closing speech. But I don't want anybody to leave this room because we are going into 2022. That's our year. Okay, I'm going to talk to you about what we are doing in 2022. So I don't want, if you want to leave, you can. If we address all the questions, then I will close it. But if anyone is still still have a question that's not addressed, I want everybody at the end of today to know exactly where we are and what I am aiming to do next year that we are coming into. To make sure that what we are doing is known. So go ahead and put up the question, please.
Okay. Yes. Thank you, Mr. President. We have another question here from Amechi Omolola. Amechi Omolola asks, servant leaders are few in African. Why is it so? I mean, leaders that are ready to serve his people. This is a very, very interesting question. It says servant leaders are few in African. Why is it so? I mean, leaders that are ready to serve his people. So over to you, Mr. President.
Yes, thank you very much. That's why we are starting a new... Please understand, Project 54 is not the first group that comes together and say, we want to change Africa. Project 54 is not the first. There has been several groups across every state and continent, across the borders, because everybody wants to do well. They want better governance. And then you know what happened? And then those leaders got there, and then they tried to do something, and then they couldn't persist, and then they give up. And then somebody tells them, well, if you can't beat them, join them. Which is a very bad philosophy. Which is a very bad philosophy. If you can't beat them, join them. That's why we have, because there are still leaders. There are still leaders across the continent that are value-based, ethical leaders. Right now, I am very happy because I know a couple of them that are, close to being at the pinnacle of power in the continent. And that's what's going to give us access to individual countries, to the pinnacle of power, so that we can filter it down. Now, there are some people who are here right now, my brothers, who are not going to be here at the end of the day. There are some people who are not here now, my sister, who are coming on board, who are going to be the backbone of what we are doing. You know what's going to be consistent? I'll tell you this, I ain't going nowhere. Because I have dedicated everything, every single fiber of my bone, that this is the last fight I want to fight. So I'm going to tell you right now, when I die, you're going to have a problem keeping me down. Because if what we are trying to do is not achieved, I think I'll still be fighting. Like we got work to do here. So we're not going away. We're not going away. I just want you to understand what is getting ready to happen. A journey of 1,000,000 miles starts with the first step. The first step is what we are taking right now. If you are thinking 90 days from now or 365 days from now, we should be packed up and gone, then I think you are mistaken. You are in the room with the wrong project. We're going to be here for a long time. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Mr. President. We also have another question here from. I think Akechi said, "I dream of being a speaker, also like our president and John Maxwell. We pray that your dream come to pass, Akechi." So we also have another question from Larry. Larry said, "This is a very, very important question. Does Project 54 intend to have consultative status or observer status with United Nations or African Union? Does Project 54 intend to have a consultative status or observer status, United Nations and EU?" Over to you, Mr. President.
Yes, that is a very, 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 very good question, Larry. I told you guys I have meetings scheduled with leaders of the African Union. Why do you think that is? So we're not only leading towards getting an observer status with the African Union. With the African Union. The United Nations is not what we want to. We want to be concerned with Africa. We want to be concerned. If we are going to do, I spoke to a very important person in the United Nations the other day, the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, about what we are intending to do in Project 54 and how we want some participation from the African Union. And my friend said, you know what, even if African Union cannot support it, they can come to them and they will be waiting to just hear how they can support us. So we just got to let them know how they can support us. This is not support us with money kind of a deal. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm not going with hard cap in hand, begging for arms to do something. That's not what we're going for. What we are going for is the access, to the resources And if those resources are financial that can put a conference in an area where young people can come in and we can get their leaders up there to be educated in ethical leadership and value-based leadership at the same time as others, then that's what we're going to do. During our launching, you guys are going to meet people in your country who are not part of this group yet, but have already been part of the John Maxwell team or the Human Behavioral Resources team or of the empowerment team for so long that you are going to be able to see those people and be in the room with those people, because we invite them to come and teach what they know, and they are local, and some of them you already know, you might not know. So that's where we are. That's why I'm having meetings with these people. There is so much things going on right now. Everybody is making plans for how we want 2022 to be, and how you want 2022 to be depends on you. We're being slowed down a little bit right now because of this Omicron virus, but Omicron, the variety of COVID-19
virus.
But we will not let that deter us. We have work to do. So I hope that answers your question. Those are the kind of things we're trying to do. That's why we have this group, and those of you who have access and understand exactly what has to be done for us to get to where we've got to be, then come forward with those ideas, and let's put it together. We have access. You have ideas. Your ideas, our access. We can do this. We really can do this. Very good question, my brother.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have another one here, but I will address one. I think Samuel Yambusu. He said, I apply using the Project 54 link, but since then I have not received any reply from the head. Please, our able president, help me. So, direct away to Mr. Samuel. Just contact us at project54@gmail.com, or that link you used to apply. Resend us a message, please, that you applied and we are here to respond to you. I promise you this night, the director will get back to you, please. So just resend us a message that we are here to respond to your application. I'm sure it will be taken care of. So I have a couple of quotations for you, Mr. President. This one is from the same Samuel Yambusu. What are the qualifications that will allow someone to be part of Project 54? And I also have another one from Paul Williams. Paul Williams asks, how can Project 54 help us identify good leaders in our society? How can it help us identify good leaders in our society, and what are qualifications for someone to be part of Project 54? So over to you, Mr. President.
Well, thank you. To your first question, what are the qualifications? The qualification is you wanting to add value. The qualification is you wanting to add value to your community. But before you can add value to your community, you got to add value to yourself. Okay, you got to be a person of value who wants to add value to other people. So that's the only criteria. Okay, the only criteria is that you are a person of value and you want to add value to other people. You come to Project 54, we teach you certain things of value so you can add value to other people. So I hope that answers the question about criteria. We don't have criteria. The other thing you say, how can Project 54 allow you to identify good leaders? If you know what good leadership is, because that's why you're coming here. That's the only offer we put on the table. You know, there are several people who have been part of this team who have a different idea of what they think we want to do. If we want to do that, if I want to create a foundation to feed the hungry, I will create a foundation to feed the hungry. But guess what? I already have friends who are foundation who are feeding the hungry that I contribute to. That's not my gift. That's not my talent. That's not what I want to do. What I want to do is create a foundation that had value to human beings, because I'm a person of value. And so I hang around people of value, like Les Brown, like John Maxwell, like Ambassador Adeoye Bankole, like Ambassador Muchanga, like some presidents of some of our countries that have had access to or be in the room when decisions have been made and so able to contribute to. I want to bring that to you, or bring them to you, so you can identify what you have in yourself, and maybe we can start, even if there are some leaders who are not so good of leaders, but if you have trained yourself to be a great leader, maybe you can begin to impact those people when we interact. This is not going away, my friends. We are doing this. This is the final chapter of starting to change Africa. That's what this is about.
Okay, so thank you, Mr. President. So the director just sent in a message now. He said that the application process takes up to 30 days. If for 2 weeks you are passed and you are yet to receive a reply, please, for those that have applied and are yet to hear anything from us after 2 weeks, please reach out to the director on the WhatsApp group. He's on the WhatsApp team. Just reach out to him directly. Reach out to her directly, and she will take care of your concern. So, Mr. President, over to you now to take your final speech and let us know the plan of Project 54 in 2022. Thank you so much. So we don't have any further questions. So you can give us the speech and your plan and the plan of the organization for 2022 and what you expect.
Okay, thank you very much, Jude. I didn't plan what I'm going to do right now previously. Otherwise, you know me, I would have put it in a slide. I did not. But I want to share something with you. This is before I start really say what I say. I hope you guys can see what I'm going to do. Can you see this? Is it a little clear enough to see?
Yes. We can see it now.
Okay, this is a program that I offer. Okay, I'm going to show you this. You're going to see, I think, let me see if I can find a pen here to circle certain things in this program, and I'm going to tell you why I am doing this right now. I will read a part of it to you, and then I'm going to tell you what I want to do. You see where I circle that? It tells you exactly the cost of what I normally do with this program. Listen to this. This program, okay, this is what it entails. It's a mindset, life-changing thing. Because if you are going to change your life, you are going to change a mindset. Okay? This, I'm going to read it to you, but I want to show you. This is the front page of what it is, and this is what it entails. And you are going to see something there that's familiar to you. You see what does that program say? If you can read it. Can you read that? Or is it upside down? I will post this, but let me read it to you. Let me read this to you so you understand. This program cost $1997, a 6-month mentorship program with a full written curriculum. It's got 12 modules, 2-hour course. It's got a Les Brown video series and all that in my website. And this is the 6-week curriculum, the 12-week curriculum. Let me tell you part of that. The first one, it says purpose, vision, and goals. It items, we do not grow for no reason. We must identify something we want. Life is not a rehearsal, and that a good, a goal that is casually set is freely abandoned. If you just casual, so those are the things we learn when we talk about purpose, vision, and goal. The other thing you're going to see there is the comfort zone. We talk about the comfort zone. The other part you're going to see of these 3 things we have talked about out of 12 is the terror barrier. There are things that's coming up like perception, like drama, like attitude, gratitude, authentic journaling. That's part of this program that I use that has changed that has changed the life of a lot of people. And in US, I sell it for $1,997. That's $3 away from $2,000. It's a marketing trick. That is the same program that we started this project with for free. I'm not asking you for a dime, and I still don't need you to put a dime, but I want you to grow yourself. Because if you are going to change your community, especially if we are going to change Africa, first we have to change our mindset. You see, your result is driven by your behavior. Your behavior is driven by your belief. So you heard me say belief drives behavior. Our belief drives our behavior, which drives our results. It is what has driven our results for a long time in Africa. And all I'm saying to you right now is let us be in a place, okay, where we can decide what our future is, because we are growing ourselves. For next year, the 9 modules left in this training is what I intend to start with, because I believe first you need to have a mindset change. In between that, you will have an opportunity, some of you that are chosen, that I know you are serious, to be in the room with John Maxwell. Probably I'll invite you to an event with Paul Martinelli. Probably there'll be some other events I will invite some of you in the room to go with me to see what's going on. In between, we will do what we have to do and planning our opening. But this training is important if you are going to make a difference, because you have to change your mindset. Do you know why I subscribe like 1,000%? Do you know why I subscribe 1,000% to the graduation process of the John Maxwell team? Because it allows you to come here for a couple of weeks and see how a great system works under a great government, under great leadership. It allows you to see that. And then you can go back and really understand, okay, if you are going to come every year to renew your leadership, this is exactly what you want to do. So this is all I'm saying to you. This is all I'm saying to you. Let it depend on you. Okay? Just because I am giving you a $2,000 program for free, don't take it for granted. If there is only one person in the room, I am still going to teach like I intend to teach. I'm still going to give you the script because some people are using it. We have some leaders here. If you have an opportunity like this, now you can bring somebody else in the room with you. You don't want it to be lonely when you get to the top. And one day you will get to the top. Those people who say it's lonely at the top is because they put their leaders at bay. They keep them at bay. They are scared of this person getting better than them. I want you to get better than me. I want you to have access to what I have access to and make better use of it than I can, as long as we are changing the world. What's our strategy for next year? By the grace of God, by February, I am hoping to be wrapping up some of the personal businesses that I'm doing in US. and we'll be launching officially the Project 54 movement. I don't know where we're going to start yet, but my goal is for this to become a full-time gig that I do in 2022, that I launched in 2022 in several of your countries that will be selected with the support of the African Union, so that they can tap into the leaders of whatever country we are going into. I just don't want to come into your country and say we are having a workshop and government leaders or business leaders are not involved. What purpose does it serve us? So I want to tap into that, and so when we decide something is happening in your community, we can have leaders there. Project 4, leadership development project. That's all it is, to teach you how to be leaders, so you can turn this. If your life goal is to turn leadership training into business, you can do what I have done so far up till here and still doing before I launch this project. If that's what you want to do. If what you want to do is just use it for yourself, then come by yourself. If what you want to use it is use it with your leaders, invite your leaders. Let's go listen to something together. You got an opportunity to listen to John Maxwell. I brought you with me. Why didn't you bring somebody with you? Let's listen together. Let's learn together. Let's do this together. That's what Project 54 intends to do. Project 54 intends to train and develop, educate leaders, and mentor you. There are instances where you want to start something, you don't know how to do it. We've done it before. If we haven't done it before, we have people who are doing it. Maybe it's a small thing you are starting in your community. Maybe there's a project you are doing with a school in your community that you think you need a little help in getting it together. We can find access for that. We can provide access for that if you are authentically doing something that enhances leadership. But leadership is what we do. I mean, not anything else. Not anything else. I don't want to divert into anything else that is not part of what my purpose is. I think I understand what my purpose is. And I think you understand why your purpose is. That's why you are here. That's why you are leaders. All I'm saying is allow me to provide to you the access that I have got so far, so that maybe you can use it better than me, or maybe you can use it just as I will. Maybe you can provide it to people who are going to eventually use it. You remember what that thing they used to say about teachers? They teach this young kid, and this young kid grow up and change the world. Maybe that's what our purpose is. Maybe you are that person, or maybe somebody you are going to meet 9 months from now is that person that you can impact, that will impact Africa. That's all the purpose is. That's all the purpose is. So that's where we are going. I'm hoping to release by the end of the year. We will not have a call until January 9th. On January 3rd, John Maxwell will be having a personal monthly mentoring call that I said to you that I will get access for most of you to be in the room. Those of you who are in the room the last time, thank you very much. Those who are there will be reinvited. Those who have access will have access. And just reach out to us if you think something that you want to do or you think we can help with. We will. But just understand this is a leadership development community. That's what this project is about. So it has no end. But if you are not showing up, I don't want to do this. In fact, we just talked to Tabitha. Conversations like this or introduction, we're going to put it on video and put it on our website so people can go over it and over it. We are going to release an agenda before the end of the year for the first 3 months of next year, or a training calendar. And then in between, we will let you know launching plans and all that. But the training calendar will be released first. It will be geared towards you making a big life change mentally, internally, so that now you can help to change other people. So let's help you, let's sculpt the masterpiece of who God created you to be. Unless you think you are already doing the best of what you can be, because I'm not. I'm still growing. So I'm saying, let's grow together. Let's learn together. Let's invest time to make ourselves better so that we can make others better. So the schedule will be out. The schedule will be out for the first 3 months on training every Saturday. Next year, we're going to be launching. I'm going to give you guys feedback. I have meetings next week, okay, with a couple of the commissioners that I've been talking to. They are very, very busy right now, and it's holiday season too. I was supposed to be traveling to Ethiopia. He asked me to stay off right now because of the war. He himself was just in Ghana, so he doesn't know where he's going to be, and I don't want to be perambulating. So we will have a Zoom call next week, and I'll come back and give you guys some report on January 9th. So in the meantime, I just want to say, hey, everybody, have a fantastic holiday, okay? Some of you that have made a big progress in application processes, thank you. Tabitha, let me tell you, she has a multi-day job before taking on Project 54. And I'm hoping next year we can reduce a little bit of that burden as we increase our team. I'm hoping to have 2 offices in Africa next year so that it will enhance us being able to get there. These are not promises. These are things we're just intending to do, to ask African Union to give us an office in Ethiopia and ask ECOWAS to give us an office in Ghana or in Nigeria where they can, so that we can operate out of a safe environment to be able to do the things that we need to do to make this happen. So please, just understand, Project 54 is not going away. This is the foundation of what we are doing. Please don't take it for granted. I think next year we will start impacting some countries where we haven't been. We will start advertising on YouTube and WhatsApp, and really be able to get somewhere with this, make a headway. So thank you very much, everyone. I know we went a little bit, if not a half hour over. That's not my intention. I just wanted to make sure that we are clear about what Project 54 is, what it's not, and how we go further into the future. Thank you very much, everybody. I hope you all have a very safe holiday. Merry Christmas, and I hope you a very happy New Year. We will get together again on January 9th. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your sacrifice, and thank you for your plan that you have for us in Africa and Project 54. To everybody present, thank you for being part of this last edition of Project 54 Leadership Training in 2021. We wish you Merry Christmas and prosperous New Year. And we look forward to great cooperation with you in 2022, as our President has already said. Thank you, and have a good festive period. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. See you next year, January.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Ibrahim.
Bye.
Thank you, Ayode.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Amit. Thank you, Beatrice. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, fellow chancellor and president.
And happy New Year in advance.
Happy New Year to everyone. Happy New Year in advance. Happy New Year. You can end the message, please,